my dear students. I welcome you all to the history class. Today we will start the next subtopic that will be 10.2, the growth of Puranic Hinduism. I hope you have seen the previous video, okay, which states about Mahayana Buddhism. We are in the 10th topic that tells us about the religious tradition, okay. So, the idea or the notion of savior means ones who used to save us, okay. So the idea or the notion of a savior was not unique in Buddhism only. This kind of ideas, that means this similar kind of ideas, were also developed in different ways within tradition. That means in other forms of tradition also this kind of ideas were emerged. Now this were part of Hinduism. So this kind of notion included Vaishnavism. Vaishnavism means a form of Hinduism within which Vishnu was worshipped, or you can say Vishnu is the main deity. So in Vaishnavism, the Vishnu or his incarnation or avatars were worshipped. Similar to Vaishnavism, there is one more tradition, that is Saivism. In Saivism, their main or chief deity was Lord Shiva. So people of Saivism used to worship Lord Shiva or his symbol, such as Linga, you can say like that. There was growing emphasis on the worship of a chosen deity. That means in this particular period of time, there were certain changes in the society and the growth of devotees towards one form of God increased. Okay, in such worship between the devotee and God was visualized as one of love and devotion, which is named as bhakti. In system of bhakti, people doesn't require any kind of brahmanas, okay, to chant the Sanskrit mantra. On the other hand, they used to share their or express their views with God in their own language. This is the system of bhakti, because people used to believe in God, okay, they used to believe that their voice will be listened by the God, okay, their voice, their you can say their words will reach to God. This is the system of bhakti. So there were two pictures, one is of Lord Vishnu and another one is of Lord Shiva. So Vaishnavism and Saivism. I hope now you are clear with that. Let's proceed now towards the next topic, that is cults. Cults develop around the various avatars or incarnation of the deity. That means people not only used to worship a form of God, but also they used to worship their avatars, okay, their incarnation. For example, you can take Vishnu. Vishnu had 10 avatars. You can just see in the picture. I have shown that. Vishnu had its 10 incarnation or avatars, and people always used to worship Lord Vishnu and also its 10 avatar or incarnation. Because people used to believe that Lord Vishnu had come to this world in order to free them from evil forces. So this different kind of avatars of Vishnu were worshipped in different parts of India, recognizing each of these local deities as a form of Vishnu. So this also create a sense of unified religious tradition, because in each and every nook and corner of the country, these avatars or incarnation of Vishnu were worshipped by the people. Now you will know about visual representation, but before proceeding towards it, let me discuss with you all what does the word cults mean. Just now I have explained you all about cults, that cults develop around the various avatars or incarnation of the deity. What does the word cult means? The word cult is a system of religious variation and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. Now I hope you are clear with that particular word. Okay, let's start now visual representation. Some of these forms or avatars or gods and goddesses were worshipped in sculpture as well as in symbols also. How? Now we will know that with an example. So Shiva was symbolized both by the linga and in human form too. That means Shiva were represented both in linga as well as in human form too. We worship Shiva in the form of sculpture also, images also, and as well as in the form of linga also. I have also shown two pictures. One is the linga of Shiva and another one is the sculpture of Shiva. So people used to worship Shiva through these two forms. That means through symbol like linga and through human form like sculpture or images. This is known as visual representation. That means we are looking at that particular sculpture or symbol and worshipping that particular deity, okay, that particular god or goddesses. Now, when we used to worship this kind of deities, we also get a complex idea or set of idea what kind of things they used to wear, okay, or what kind of auspicious object they used to carry. So, all such representations depicted a complex set of ideas about that particular deity and their attributes through symbols such as headdresses, ornaments and ayodhyas. The word ayodhyas means weapons or auspicious objects the deities hold in their hand, and we also know how that particular deity used to sit. Okay. So, to understand the meaning of this sculpture, historians also have to know about or have to be familiar with the stories or about the stories of that particular god or goddesses. So, there are two sculpture, okay, you can see showing on your screen. These pictures are also there in your book, okay. One picture is of Varaha or boar avatar of Vishnu, you can select that. This is a sculpture of 6th century CE and it is in Karnataka. Another picture is of goddess Durga, which is also of 6th century CE, but this picture is of Mahabalipuram, that is in Tamil Nadu. So, the historians have to be familiar with these stories behind this kind of sculptures, many of which are contained in the Puranas. Puranas were compiled by the Brahmanas in the middle of 1st millennium CE. So you have to also remember the time period. So Puranas contain much that had been composed and been in circulation for centuries. That means Puranas also contain what is there in the Vedic literatures. They also contain what is circulated for centuries, including stories of god and goddesses. They were written, that means Puranas were written in simple Sanskrit verse, so everyone could understand it. Also, it gives provision that Oman and Shudras could also read aloud, okay, this Puranic, you can say Puranas actually, or in Puranic tradition, Oman and Shudras were also allowed to read the Sanskrit verse. In Puranas there were stories, okay, which were said or described by the people like priests, merchants and ordinary men and women who used to travel from place to place sharing their own ideas and beliefs. That's all. There is also one picture showing on your screen. This is of Vishnu Puran, okay. Now I hope you are clear with this particular topic. See you tomorrow, and if you have any kind of queries, feel free to contact me.